Dear learners, comparative education is a topic which is taken from Unit 11 Comparative Perspectives of Block 3 of course MES 041 Growth and Development in Educational Management. In this session, we shall be focusing on meaning and aims of comparative education, development of comparative education, factors of comparative education, and educational system in USA. Now, what is the meaning of comparative education? Educational systems of countries differ. Becoming aware of the differences that make the education of one country different from one another is the meaning of comparative education. What are the aims of comparative education? First, to strengthen international unity by drawing our attention to the universal general principles. Second, educational system of a country is an indicator of being progressive or backward. Next is development of comparative education. Now there are three phases as far as the development of comparative education is concerned. Now the first phase is also known as traveler's tales, that is from prehistory to end of 18th century. During this phase, people moved to different places due to various reasons such as trade, diplomacy, adventure, etc. We all have read about these details. Second phase, it is also known as educational borrowing phase. This is also known as period of pioneers or phase of selective education borrowing, that is during the 19th century from 1817 to 1900. The 19th century Europe, it faced the after effects of first French Revolution, which was political and social upheaval in France, second Industrial Revolution, third Agrarian Revolution, fourth colonization process. Now educational reformers at this time, they were concerned with the social and political conditions of these revolutions and the reaction of the masses. In education, they saw the means of moral improvement and social amelioration. Educational reformers were concerned that the ability of individual school system to improve themselves faced a lot of opposition even when there were good intentions. This brought the need to share the best ideas and practices available in many countries. There was a change of approach that suggested a more systematic and comprehensive collection of data and in turn selective borrowing in education. That is why this phase is also known as phase of educational borrowing. Now let us move to the third phase. As far as the third phase of development of comparative education is concerned, we consider this from 1900 to 1945. Now this is also known as breaking down of barriers, a phase where the breaking down of barriers has taken place, that is transmission of educational information to foreign countries along with exchange of students and scholars. Now let us discuss the different factors of comparative education. Now these factors are geographical factors, education of a particular nation and its culture and civilization has great impact through geographical dimension. Different countries of the world have different geographical dimensions. Therefore, their standard of living, mode of living, culture, and social institutions also differ from one another. For example, the climate of a cold country is different from that of a tropical one. Similarly, an agriculture-based country emphasizes on agriculture education in its educational system, and industrial countries they pay special attention to technological and industrial developments in curriculum. Now, second factor deals with the economic part. The geography and economics do influence the educational systems. The aims and curriculum of education are framed according to the condition of the land. For example, the Industrial Revolution brought about a change in the educational system of England. Similarly, the Russian Revolution also changed the face of Russian system of education. Third, racial factors. Every country has a number of races. The educational system was influenced by these races. The superior race intended to influence rest of the races, and by doing so it gained success in its approach. It framed its own system of education. Fourth, linguistic factors. Among all other cultural factors, language is one such factor which gives an individual an identity from where he or she belongs. Through the language, civilizational and cultural factors can be easily expressed. Therefore, the impact of language in the whole education system is very, very important. Now, apart from these factors, there are other factors such as philosophical, moral, and religious. Now, let us move to the educational system in USA. In USA, we can classify the educational system into four stages. First, primary stage. Second is secondary stage. Third is college or higher education stage. And fourth is the vocational stage. Now, if we see the system, the educational system in USA, we find that the hierarchy starts from primary to college levels. Vocational education is given for professional development after secondary and college levels. The Harvard College is said to be the first institution of higher education which was established in 1636. And there is extreme decentralization in the American system of education. Now, administration and organization of local schools. A democratic form of education system exists in USA. Federal government and the state governments have transferred their responsibility to the local boards and public institutions in order to perform their functions according to the interests, needs, capacity, and traditions of the people. Local Education Board. Now we find that there are four types of local boards. First, basic, intermediate, coterminous, and non-coterminous. Now, how do these boards differ? These boards differ because basic local board, it is influenced by the local people, and even today They are working on the same lines. Intermediate local education boards, they are influenced by local as well as the government influences also there. Coterminous, only government influence exists as far as the coterminous local boards are concerned. And the last, non-coterminous, these units are neither under the influence of government nor under the local influence. Now these local education boards, they have different names in different states. For example, Board of Trustee, the Education Board, the School Committee, the Country Board of Education. They are given different names. Now next I move to the administration in a university. As far as the administration in a university is concerned, we find different departments of teaching such as arts, science, law, medicine and engineering, and these departments are independent units. Department of postgraduate courses, professional courses and research work also function as independent colleges in themselves. A dean is the executive officer who looks after each college or school of the university. Advisory committee consists of the members of staff helped by the dean. The committee lays down rules or guidelines for admission, curriculum courses and timetable for examination. A university has many departments, and in some cases a university consists of large number of colleges, and each college has as many as 25 subjects, and even one subject may have 7 to 8 departments. Now let's move to the admission restrictions. Every student who wants to go in for higher education can get admission in one or the other higher education institutions, but it may not be the institution of his or her choice. Now some universities like Harvard, Yale, Princeton and Columbia, they are very selective. Common systems of admission in higher education. So we find that the admission could be due to entrance examination or because of certificate production admission. Then the duration varies, and there are different types of degree courses and there are different types of institutions. Now when it comes to the entrance examination, this is a system under which students have to pass an entrance test for getting admission in a college. In the year 1900, as a result of the efforts of some universities and colleges, a board of college entrance examination, it was set up. Then certificate production admission, the system is pursued where uniform standards have been laid down for the achievement of secondary stage. At the time of admission in such colleges, the weightage is given to the records and other certificates of examination, and marks are allotted to English, foreign language, arithmetic and social science. Then duration of courses, a number of variations exist for the coverage of different degrees of education in USA, and a general pattern is to get a bachelor's degree in 4 years after completing secondary education. Then degree course, there is no clear distinction between the bachelor's degrees in sciences and arts in most of the universities. Few colleges award the degree of arts for the course, whereas others, they award degrees of science. The first 2 years are equal to the secondary stage of junior colleges, after the completion of which the degree of Associate of Arts or Science is given. Then kinds of institution. In American system of education, the term college and university, they are used synonymously, and some courses such as nursing, accounting, catering, advertising, commerce and journalism are being studied at college and university levels in USA. Now let us move to the kinds of educational system in USA. First, universities. In USA, only those institutions which make elaborate arrangements for higher study or research, they are termed as universities. Then second, municipal and district schools. These institutions are established and managed and financed by school districts and municipalities. It is generally of 4 years and are effective and very popular. Third, land grant colleges. Land grant colleges, they were started in 1862 and they offer the state's additional government land in order to use the proceeds of its sale to finance College of Agriculture. Fourth, liberal arts colleges. These are mostly privately managed institutions either affiliated to universities or of independent nature. They offer liberal courses of study and are quite popular for specializations, efficiency in arts, and training in senior full vocational subjects. Next, community colleges. These are private institutions imparting technical and vocational education according to the local needs, along with courses in general education with emphasis on training of professional skills and specialization. Next, colleges. The term college is used for any department of a university, that is arts college, science college, college of literature and liberal arts. These colleges may be of independent nature or affiliated to some university. Junior colleges, these were established with an idea of providing a stage between secondary education and the university education, are becoming popular not only in USA but in almost all the European countries. Then graduate schools. These institutions admit only those students who have successfully completed their 4 years of college education after passing the secondary stage. These are the colleges which provide the highest types of specialized education. It takes 4 years to earn a doctorate degree. A master's is awarded after 1 year of education and the doctorate degrees are awarded on the basis of thesis of specialized nature. Now next, higher professional school. These institutions provide facilities for higher education in courses such as medicine, music, law and theology, and these courses are of 3 to 5 years duration after completion of 4 years of college education. Institutions of technical higher school. These institutions provide higher education training in technical, professional and industrial subjects like engineering and technical. Thank you very much for this session.